ya. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
3, 2, 1. It's over. The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. It's their second Super Bowl win in 7 years. What a game. What a season. What a team. The greatest Eagles team in modern history. Eagles fans, savor it and rejoice.
Well said, Merrill. Well said. And a good afternoon. Daily Ticket with you here on a parade eve Thursday. Sean Bray, Sam Oshtry from The Score joining us here. Sam, how you feeling this week,
I'm
man?
great, man. It's been the best week. Can't stop smiling. Can't stop reliving it. Tomorrow's going to be unbelievable. I was walking down the parade route to get to my car.
Saw that.
So, I posted little pictures. I mean, music was already blasting.
Heard that. I was like, damn, did you add that track?
No, that was the city. They were getting ready, and it was just you just got the chills of what it's going to be. Trying to think back to 7 years ago, what it was, and we're back. We're back at it.
We are back. Wasn't all that long ago.
No.
Matter of fact, I told my wife, I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna go. I'm like, man, it's a once in a lifetime deal. She's like, just happened. I'm like, don't go getting fat on me. Don't go getting fat on me now. No. Yeah, these things just don't come around all that often. Now, when you do have a good quarterback that sets the culture and great players that the general manager continues to draft and sign, and a hell of an organization run by Jeffrey Lurie, top to bottom, you're going to set yourself up for another opportunity, whether it's next year, the year after, or whatever it may be. That is not a fluke. I will say that. This is a damn good operation and one of the better ones in the NFL. And we know that. People have said that before. There's things written about how Jeffrey Lurie handles business, and it starts at the top. And it's just every once in a while they do find themselves into those conversations where it's like, what the hell, what happened? Like last year specifically, obviously, but more times than not, when there's all those vacancies, the Eagles are not one of them. When it's a big name free agent quarterback that you have to let go, and you're the New York Jets, and it's Aaron Rodgers, and it's like, wait a minute, you guys are all talking this Super Bowl hype for 2 straight seasons, and now you're letting him go. You're letting him go, and that doesn't happen with the Philadelphia Eagles. So
don't take it for granted at all.
No,
that's been my message to people. Is remember at the last parade, Doug Peterson said this is the new norm. And it was not the new norm, and Doug found that out when he was out the door 3 years later. So you can't take it for granted. It's the best organization in sports with the best owner in sports. I mean, how they run it, first class organization. The fact that Jeffrey Lurie has hired 2 consecutive Super Bowl winning coaches, and not marquee names at all. This wasn't like Andy Reid was on the market. These were guys. Doug Peterson, people were saying was unqualified. Nick Sirianni was not some hot market name. And he hired those 2 guys back-to-back, 2 Super Bowl winning coaches. Not ever going to do that. It's a first-class organization, but things can spiral quickly in this league. So don't take this for granted. People are already talking, could this be the team that 3-peats? Are we going to go back-to-back? Let's enjoy this. Don't take it for granted and enjoy tomorrow.
No, yeah, there's a lot of those conversations being had in the timeline and people that are dangling the rat poison out there for me to chew on.
Yeah.
I see videos.
It's hard not to, too.
Yeah, look, my only take is if you're somebody that wants to spend a negative conversation and get those clicks and topics and views out there this week, good luck, because most likely you're going to end up with egg on your face. You're going to walk into the rake. I love the dude, Jeremy, my guy Jeremy's part of Powers' crew and does an unbelievable job. Has helped us out so many times behind the scenes here on The Gambler. I believe he's in North Carolina, but he's just a great dude. And he had a video, and he does shows throughout the course of the week. And I think it was a little sliver of a piece from the show. And it went into the standpoint of, or went into the conversation of, like, of course, Jalen Hurts is not on the level of Lamar Jackson, not on the level of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, right? And then it goes into, this team he was carried by, Saquon and the defense. And then, of course, you've heard this 100 times already in the last few weeks, if not the past few days. Put Josh Allen on this team, what happens? Super Bowl guaranteed. Lamar Jackson. And I push back on that because it's not played on paper.
No.
Like, that's where it starts and ends for me. Like, those are all great quarterbacks, and there will be plenty of time for us to talk about fantasy football. Jalen Hurts, pretty good fantasy player as well, top 5, top 6 this year. Like, there will be plenty of times for us to talk about that, ranking the quarterbacks. But this week, if you choose to go down that path, you're talking about players that never were able to do what Jalen Hurts just did. And that's the facts, and that's the end of the conversation. Again, you are going to step onto that rake, and it's going to hit you in the face. It's just the reality of where we're at. He's a Super Bowl champion quarterback. That don't bring up Trent Dilfer, like, because then I see through you. Don't bring up Brad Johnson, because I see through you. Like, Jalen Hurts for 3 straight years now has been at the top of his game, has been in MVP conversations. Did he have a great team this year? You're damn right. You're damn right. He had a great team. Saquon and the number 1 defense. It's only happened one other time in NFL history. It was the Cowboys in '92 that they had the number 1 rusher and the number 1 defense heading into the playoffs. The Eagles had that, and they won a Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts played well when he had to do what he had to do in the NFC Championship game. He stepped up. The Super Bowl, if you needed him to be more aggressive and throw the football more, he was going to be fine and being able to do that. Stop it.
And the guy's a winner. Like, all through it all, he's a winner. And you know what really proved that he was a winner and how much he cares about winning and prioritizes winning? Did you watch the mic'd up version last night of that NFL Network had? And there was a billion clips going around. Did you watch that? There was one moment where someone was handing or telling Jalen Hurts that he won the MVP. He was like, Super Bowl MVP. And Hurts' response was, Super Bowl champ. Like, that is a guy who cares more about winning than any individual athlete. A lot of athletes say that. A lot of them do. We've heard another athlete in this city who plays across the street from the link say that he cares about winning and championships more than MVPs. But we know that's not true by all of his actions. A lot of athletes say that. Very few actually live it. And Jalen Hurts lives that. He cares more about winning and winning Super Bowls than any individual accolade, any MVP, any statistic. That was proof in that moment. Maybe he remembered he was mic'd up. I'm sure he didn't. In that moment, he was told, you're the Super Bowl MVP. He said, I'm the Super Bowl champ. That was more important to him. Winning that football game, becoming a champion, was more important than any other individual accolade. And that's what he's always told us. And it's obviously true because the guy is a winner. All he does is win football games.
Yeah. And that was the biggest stage, gets the job done. And like I said to my man, Jeremy, I was like, man, it's just not a one deal thing, like one game thing to win a Super Bowl. It's just not. No. You have to put yourself in a position to get some home field. You have to put yourself in position to win the division first. Like it's a long season to get to just to have the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl and then to win it. Of course, it's only one game, but there's so many things that go into that. So I get it. Paper, there will be plenty of time for us to dissect and talk about fantasy football numbers and what quarterback you would prefer. But for me right now, and even Mark Henry Jr. said it yesterday in his show, and I just didn't feel like going back and forth. No, the number 1 quarterback in the NFL right here, right now is Jalen Hurts. That's it.
Yeah, I don't want to go back and forth either. Obviously I don't necessarily agree with that. But look, I'm not going to argue it. We're Super Bowl champs. Whoever wins it is the best as far as I'm concerned. How
could you say that Mahomes is still the number 1 quarterback when there's only one champion? There's one Super Bowl champion at the end. But this is the week that you go, yes. Next week, different story. This week, sure.
Sure, I won't argue it. But what the Eagles showed us is that it is the ultimate team sport. And it doesn't matter because everyone's argument for why the Chiefs were going to win was simply Mahomes, a quarterback advantage. That's it. But what the Eagles showed is that it does not matter necessarily who is the better quarterback if you have the better team.
When you get
like
a great defensive line.
Exactly. An unstoppable defensive line, a phenomenal offensive line, a great running back who obviously he didn't have the best Super Bowl. He didn't need to, but a phenomenal running back that was a big part of why we were there. So it's a team sport, and that's kind of what the Eagles showed in this Super Bowl is that it's the ultimate team game.
I'm willing to go 1 week. Like, am I asking for too much?
1 week. For 1 week, I'll say Jalen Hurts is the best.
He is the best quarterback in the game.
Fine, Jalen Hurts is the best.
He's the Super Bowl champion. He is the guy. 1 week. That's all I'm asking.
I'll give you 1 week. Give me Hurts over Mahomes. Give me Hurts over Allen.
Over Josh Allen.
Give me Hurts over Lamar Jackson.
Hang on. Let me pitch this back to you, because with that, Mahomes is in a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
Mahomes is Mahomes. Now, we'll have plenty of time to nitpick Mahomes, but still, he's in a different world. We'll give that to him. I just want to say this, like, for the people that want to say Lamar Jackson on this Eagles team, it's a route. It's over. Josh Allen on this Eagles team, it's a route. It's over. Like, done. They're both winning the Super Bowl. I can't get there. And I'll tell you why. Because, and this is where the conversation gets a little bit more, wide open, because I think we're not talking about just athleticism. We're not talking about stats. We're talking about a culmination of everything, of what it takes to win in this league, to understand that position, to make the right calls at the line of scrimmage, to be in tune with your play caller. Like, I just don't see Lamar Jackson coming into a new offense and not making those same mistakes that he's made year after year in the postseason.
What I'll give you is that
Josh Allen too. Josh Allen's weakness, right? If I could be critical of Josh Allen, who I loved his season, it didn't look like he's the sharpest cat at the line of scrimmage. Now, I don't know what he's able to do. I don't know if he's able to audible. I don't know what their audibles. I don't know what their schemes are. But one of the strengths, according to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, who have both said Jalen Hurts is an ace at the line of scrimmage. An ace. You don't hear that about Lamar Jackson. You don't hear that about Josh Allen. And that's all. And what happened at the end of that game against Kansas City Chiefs? Granted, they hid the blitz, but he wasn't anything prepared for what was coming his way. And then on top of it, let's talk about what else Jalen Hurts does better than those guys. And it's got to be rolled up into the conversation of the best quarterback. It's what he does with his legs. Josh Allen's fantastic. Lamar Jackson's incredible. But when it comes to the tough yard, that tush push, the brotherly shove, Josh Allen runs it pretty good, but he got stopped in an AFC Championship game. You think Jalen Hurts was getting stopped there?
A few things. First, as pertains to the tush push, that's as much about the offensive line and those guys up front.
Okay, but you're telling me the Buffalo Bills offensive line are a bunch of slubs?
No, but it's not the Eagles. Like, the Eagles offensive line is what makes that play as great as it is, along with the quarterback. What I will give you.
Okay. I mean, I can get there, but it's at the end of the day, Buffalo Bills, they don't have a bunch of schlubs. They were able to run the football. They're able to pick up those tough yards.
Of course.
And they failed in that moment. Jalen Hurts is not failing in that moment.
What I'll give you is that Hurts is, according to all the best quarterbacks who ever played this game, who are now analysts now evaluating the game, Hurts is phenomenal checking at the line of scrimmage, and has been all season and was in the Super Bowl. And I'm not sure, and that's IQ, like you said. I'm not saying Allen doesn't have that.
No.
But that's IQ, and Hurts has been phenomenal. He took that over completely from Kelsey this year.
He deserves the credit on that. Yep.
So that's something that Hurts has an advantage over. That's not some intangible skill like arm talent or how fast you are,
but it's got
how much you can evade the pocket. All that
in
stuff.
The conversation if we're going to have this.
That's why I'm giving you. And the other thing I'll give you that is the number one thing with Jalen Hurts. And this isn't something that's like really describable. You can't quantify it, but Jalen Hurts is clutch. Like some guys are just have the clutch gene and some dudes don't. Like Kobe Bryant had the clutch gene. You didn't have to look at the statistics. You had to look at his mentality and his play late in games, the most important games of his career. And Kobe Bryant had that. Jalen Hurts has the clutch gene. I'm not necessarily saying Lamar Jackson doesn't or Josh Allen, those guys don't.
Yeah.
But Hurts absolutely does. And in the biggest games of his career, throughout his entire NFL tenure, he has come up big every single time. The Super Bowl 2 years ago, the Super Bowl this week, the NFC Championship game a few weeks ago, the NFC Championship game against the Niners where he didn't have to do too much, but a few years ago. All the biggest moments of his career, he has been phenomenal. That's clutch. And it's not something you can quantify, but Jalen Hurts has a clutch gene that I'm not sure Lamar Jackson necessarily has. I think Josh Allen does because he's been awesome in those games against the Chiefs. He's just been one play too short. But Jalen Hurts, indisputably, so does Mahomes, of course, because we've seen what he does late
he's just in a different world.
Yeah, he's in a different category.
He was like 6-6 or something like that heading into that game, like with a
in
game on the line.
Games. He won 17 consecutive one-score games. That's most NFL history. It's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is Hurts has that clutch gene too, and that's something that a lot of guys you're not taking into account when you're making a top 5, top 10 list. But that's really important when you're trying to win Super Bowls.
I'm right there with you. And look, that barroom conversation is always there. It's the quarterbacks, fantasy football. I get it, and I look forward to getting more into that in a couple weeks. But for right now, he is top dog, and if you try and debate this via Twitter, you're going to step on a rake. That's all I will say about that. All right, we got a lot to get to. We're going to have some fun today. Julian Edlow is going to join us at 3:30. We're going to talk a little bit about hoops with him. He's actually doing a broadcast this evening as well. And he's going to join us to stream. Nice. Always good to hear that. He is broadcasting Warriors Rockets tonight on NBA Bet Stream presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Matt Moore, Joe Delaria. Not sure of Joe's work. Do know Matt Moore.
Joe's my guy, actually.
Is he?
I know Joe. Yeah, I've talked to him a bunch. He works for Action Network.
Yeah, Joe what? How do you pronounce this?
Delara.
Delara, there you go. Nice. All right, great. And Julian Edlow. It's a fantastic watch as I've tuned into previous games. I want to talk about this conversation that came up on the Good Morning Football this morning with Mark Henry Jr.'s great tweet, which is just tremendous. But we will get into the Eagles conversation in just a second. Sam Oshtry does it all with the hoops for the score. He is dialed in better than most. And last night, Sam, myself and Beef made a road trip up to the main line to catch Villanova and St. John's go head to head. And what a game it was.
What a game.
It came down to a last-second shot by Villanova, and this is how it sounded, courtesy of right here. Fox Sports Rated to Gambler. How about that?
On the dribble, down to 15 seconds to go. Poplar trying to turn the corner. Poplar down the lane, kicks it to Brickus. Back to Perkins. Right wing three. He's got it with 8.7 seconds to go. Villanova takes the lead. 73-71 on a clutch jumper for the sophomore from Lorton, Virginia. Tyler Perkins delivers.
It's amazing. Tyler Perkins couldn't make a three for like 5 or 6 games. And now one thing he's doing so well is catching and shooting.
I like it. Whitey Rigsby and Ryan Fannin on the call there. Tell you what, Sam, I'm shocked Nova was able to win that game.
Yeah.
Shocked. They're tough to beat in that house. Beat UConn already. That was the 3rd ranked win that they had up there. Am I right on that or no?
I think 2nd. UConn and St. John's.
UConn and St. John's. Okay. All right. St. John's was all over them. They were pressing them. Go figure.
Yep.
Rick Pitino with the press. I'm shocked. You would have thought that Villanova was surprised. They could not get the ball in. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. There were moments like, I'm like, what are we doing? What's going on right now? I just weed Nova. That's funny. Like, what's going on? Eric Dixon just living with him, heaving these 3-pointers from way outside, from the blue route and making them in the final second. Like, I don't know. I never want to assume that it's easy to be a coach. And it comes down to players, but there was just a lot of questions I left from the Fin last night with. And St. John's are good. I will say that much. My first opportunity to see a top 10 team in action. So I'm not Mr. Dick Vitale over here by no means. But if you were to tell me that that's a team that could win it all, I would second guess. First of all, they're not deep. Second of all, they live by the 3-pointer. They play great defense, but not really the most rounded team. Let's just say that much. Rick Pitino's incredible. He deserves a ton of credit to get the team to where they're at right now. But I didn't see a national champion there in St. John's.
Yeah, well, it was interesting because St. John's doesn't really live by the 3, but they absolutely did last night.
They did last night.
They shot less than 30% from 3, 11 for 37. 11 threes is the most, I believe I saw it's the most they've made all season, St. John's. They're not a team
they had
that's
15 in the first half attempts.
ridiculous. And that's not their identity at all. They are a physical team that wants to take it to the rim and play inside. That's their identity. But Villanova did a great job of forcing them into become a jump shooting team. And that's not St. John's identity. And when that happens, they're not going to shoot a lot of threes because they don't have a lot of good 3-point shooters, and they shot less than 30%. And it was just really a phenomenal game. Because on the flip side, Nova really can't handle a press. It wasn't just the press. It was also that St. John's is a real physical team. Like they're gritty and physical. So when they're pressing you and they're up in your grill, it's really hard to break that, especially because Nova has small guards. Like their starting point guard is Jameer Brickus. He's tiny.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard.
Well, he was the only one that was successful breaking the
I know,
press.
because he's so quick. But when you have big guards and your physical team as a defense and you want to press, you want to go against small guards like that who you can get really physical with. So Nova couldn't handle the press at all. Nova was up big in the first half.
Yeah,
St. John starts pressing. They bring it all the way back. It's a 2-point game at halftime. Real great back and forth game in the second half. And on the last possession, when Tyler Perkins hit the three, St. John's decided to press, which was I was a little surprised by, because it was only under 10 seconds or 15 seconds, something like that. And it was really risky to press because they were only up 2, and Nova almost turned the ball over, so it almost paid off for St. John's.
Yep.
They get to the backcourt, the front court, and they have a 2-on-1 opportunity. And Nova instead pulls it back out and doesn't take the 2-on-1 opportunity for a potentially easy rim to tie it up with only a few seconds to go. But it paid off. They kick it to the corner, and Jameer Brickus had a jumper. He made a great extra bounce pass.
Yeah, he did.
And Tyler Perkins nails the three. It was 4 for 5 on the day from 3. And Nova escapes. What a ball game.
Yeah,
what a ball game.
Really was a great game. So nice win by Villanova. And of course, being out there and getting it on their airwaves, great time. John Fanta on the call with Rafferty.
That was awesome.
Raph. Come on, man. Those guys are celebrities after the game. We had to bounce. Speaking of celebrities, Beef made television.
Yeah, you did too.
Vic Fangio was there. So Fangio was there. And they're going nuts. The arena's going crazy. And the next thing you know, they play the Eagles fight song. Beef is wearing the Devontae Smith jersey I just scooped up and the hat from his winnings. He cashed in pretty good at Super Bowl 59. He won a box. He had a couple boxes, couple parlays. Yeah, it was Beef's day. That's for dang sure. Had the Tubbsy high in the air. So next, he ends up going to the pro shop, buys a Devontae Smith beautiful Kelly Green jersey. He gets in the car. I'm like, damn, dude, that's dope. Nice. So we go up there. Eagles fight song plays Fangio. I'm like, all right. Next thing you know, the phone's blowing up. Beef's like, yo, I was just on TV. I don't know what's going on. Everyone's tagging him. It looked like he was shooting a jump shot.
Yeah, it did. I didn't know what he was doing, like with his hands, but it was awesome.
The Eagles fight song. So that's out there on the socials. It was good.
And then you were just next to him. You got no love.
I got no love, got no shine, because I was wearing a nice blue shirt, trying to, trying to fit in with the Nova faithful. Great time though, and again, nice work by Villanova. Next game for them is on Saturday. Who do they got on Saturday? I know they're playing Saturday. They are playing Providence, 6 p.m. on the road.
That should be a win, because Providence is really struggling. Their season's in the toilet.
You say Villanova's alive?
They can't leave the bubble, man. Like this, if they lost this, it would have been over. But this is their first quad 1 win, which is pretty big. Though it was a win over UConn was really big, but it wasn't a quad 1 just based off where UConn stands right now. So they have more work to do. They're going to have to not win out necessarily, but really take care of the teams that they're better than in the Big East. So they're alive. They're on the bubble. It's not a great bubble this year. They have a chance, but it's not a great Big East either. So they don't have that many opportunities. They're alive, though. That's all you can say at this point. They're alive.
We do have somebody checking in. Anything to say about Florida Atlantic University Owls? Went over 4 straight by double digits, Sam?
That must be my boy who went to Florida State. I'm not on the stream right now. Florida Atlantic.
Jaron?
They're at Temple on Sunday.
Correct. Heading into a big game at Temple on Sunday. We appreciate that, Jaron. I think he has Stephen A. and a cowboy hat as
sounds about right.
There you go. Nice
Sounds
work.
about right.
All right, we will talk a little bit more college hoops, because the Terps are in action tonight. Only 2 games with ranked opponents in it. Going off as far as the Wednesday card is concerned, and only 5 games over to the NBA side of things. And I definitely want to talk a little about the NBA. And then, unfortunately, we have to bring up the 76ers and the curse that is that team right now. Also, what's taking place in Dallas is a disaster with a capital D.
Oh, my God.
You could not get a worse start for the Nico Harrison, this is your time to shine opportunity here, sir. And it's definitely not shining, that's for sure. AD gets hurt. People are getting thrown out. Cuban's got to call people one-on-ones. It's an ugly time in Dallas, and I still have no idea why the hell they traded Luka Doncic. Luka was in action last night. Didn't actually work out all that well for the Lakers, though.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It was kind of one of those games, last game before the All-Star break, get me to the All-Star break. Luka hasn't looked especially sharp, but I don't really blame him. Number one, all you're trying to do is just get him well conditioned to get him back in the groove, get him and LeBron playing together. In that first game against the Jazz earlier this week, his Lakers debut, Luka played pretty well with the 2-man game with him and LeBron. I mean, that was exciting to see. A lot of pick and roll, inverted pick and roll, all that type of stuff. So that was cool, but he didn't shoot the ball well. He's 1 for 7 from 3 in that first game. He didn't really play that well last night, but look, he's just getting his conditioning back.
Yeah.
He's
been out since Christmas, or even before then, right?
Yeah, he's been out for a while. He's just getting his conditioning back. That's going to happen.
Yeah. 5 games in the association this evening. The only thing I would say is, yes, it is the day before the All-Star break, so be careful as I am looking at all the injuries in quotes, being listed for some of these teams, including the Miami Heat and Dallas Mavericks. So be cautious if you're hitting send on any of those.
Isn't it crazy? The All-Star weekend is this weekend. It feels like it's gotten no buzz. I mean, it's Super Bowl week, or it was coming off the Super Bowl here, but like usually there's something going on the All-Star. No buzz this year.
60 seconds on this. Should the slam dunk competition, the contestants that take place in it get paid?
Get paid?
More than what they are right now. I think it's only a small margin. It's not much.
Well, look, you can get paid based on how you perform. Like Mac McClung is a G League player. His sponsorships and the amount of money he gets paid is almost exclusively.
Darius Garland said today that if you paid him $250,000, he wouldn't think twice about it. He'd be in the slam dunk competition.
Okay, but guys didn't used to get paid. When Kobe and MJ did it, it didn't used to get paid. It was for pride. It was a cool event.
But that ship has sailed, 1, and 2 is how much more money are these TV networks making now versus then?
Maybe they should. I mean, I don't.
Right, but I could tell you it doesn't hit you well, though.
I mean, I don't love it just because it's like it's a cool event, like All-Star Weekend. It should be an honor to be in the slam dunk contest. If you win that should be an honor. It should be something that the greats, that you're one of the greats who won it, going back to Kobe and Jordan, all those guys. But look, we're in a different world.
Mac McClung won the last,
he's won the last 2 years.
I know,
because
it has like, all right, Mac McClung won it though.
It hasn't. Well, yeah, but it hasn't had pizzazz for the last few seasons.
So you pay them to get Zion in.
I won't be mad if they pay him. I just don't think it's right that these athletes want to be paid for something that there's a long history of all-time great players playing, participating in the dunk contest and performing. That's part of their legacy. Like Kobe and Jordan and Dominique Wilkins and all those guys. That's part of their legacy, is those dunk competitions that they won.
I don't even remember Kobe's dunk competition.
It was his rookie year, 96. But I will say, or I guess that was 97, it would have been.
Don't even remember.
But I will say, my idea for the dunk contest is
That's crazy that I don't remember Kobe Bryant's dunk competition. Is that sad? Don't I remember?
I mean, maybe it's more of a compliment to him because he's accomplished so much. It's like, why would you remember his dunk contest? I bet if you look it up, watch the highlights, you'll remember.
Yeah, of course. But man, I'm drawing a complete blank right now. That's a shame. Now, 97, 98 was like my junior year of high school, so there was a lot going on in my day.
Yeah,
a lot of moving parts.
What does that mean?
It just means I was paying attention to a lot it's back in those days, so I wasn't exactly dialed in. But that's funny that you bring that up. No, I'm with you. Obviously, things have changed, so it's 2025, and to hear Darius Garland say that today kind of opened my mind a little bit to the point. Trust me, I'm with you. Like, dude, get in there. Let's go. You're already being paid enough. Do it for the league. Blah, 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 blah. But things have changed so much in the last 10 years.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it if it would make the event more exciting, but it's just completely lost its pizzazz. It's not that exciting. What I want to see from the dunk contest, forget NBA players. Let's bring regular hoopers who are just phenomenal dunkers. I think there was an NBA team. I was watching League Pass. An NBA team had a halftime show where they just brought in fans from the stands to participate in a dunk contest. And these dunks were sick. that they were thrown down. Way better than anything I've seen in the dunk contest in years. Let's bring regular street hoopers in and let them perform like the craziest, most awesome dunks. Like, let's get rid of the NBA players if none of the best want to really participate.
All right. Daily Ticket rolling on. That's our take. A lot to chew on. Love to get you involved out there. Mac McClung is a legit NBA point guard, says Jack.
Mac McClung is a legit NBA point guard. No, he's not. He's not. He's
Jack.
too small. He's too small. He's a hooper. He's a bouncer.
I love Mac. Come on, man.
He's too small. He does ball out in the G League.
Yes.
A lot of guys does. Shout out to Jameer
does.
Young, Maryland guy, balling out in the G League for Nuggets right now.
All right, other side, Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook is going to join us via the stream. We got a lot to discuss with him. NCAA, NBA. We'll even talk about Jalen Hurts, and I'll have Julian give us his thoughts on the Super Bowl. And as a man who's been through a few parades, does he have any advice for us? As he is a Patriots, Red Sox fan, Boston. He's a Boston fan. So, he's had a few celebratory parades in his day. So we'll find out if he has any, any advice for us, as we've only been through once. And for the people out there that are new, because I'm hearing a lot of people, I'm going to drive in, I'm going to Uber in, I'm going to do that. Like, this is your first time, huh? So Daily Ticket, Sam Oshtry, Sean Brace, back up to this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We're up on 95 northbound Allegheny up to Bridge. Schuylkill westbound Heavy University Divine at Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound so Blue Route to Belmont, then stop and go Boulevard to South. Vine Expressway westbound backed up 95 to the Schuylkill. All right, to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that your business is built on speed. That's why the Lowe's Pro Desk will help you get what you need right away. And with their pro-only checkout and dedicated pro parking, they'll help you get back on the job fast. Just visit them at the Pro Desk. We help, you save.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, when you shop local, you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference. Gerhardt's Appliances, they've been serving our community for over 80 years, supporting the neighborhoods we call home. Instead of sending your hard-earned money to a national chain, support the home team at Gerhardt's, proudly serving all of Philadelphia, Glenside, Doylestown, Malvern, Ardmore, and beyond with top-quality appliances and unbeatable local service. Shop smart, shop local, shop at Gerhardt's. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com or visit any of their 6 locations.
Gary Barbera was right.
It's a stud.
Barbera is Superbirds Coach Nick the best.
This is Coach Sirianni.
Oh, Coach, wasn't that beat down in the bayou beautiful?
Boy, I guess.
Oh, yeah, Dallas still sucks.com. Super Coach Nick picks Barbera.
He's been good for decades, and that's pretty incredible.
Chiefs, is Super Coach Nick the best? You tell him, Brandon Graham.
Boy, I guess.
Oh, mama. Gary Barbera was right.
I'm Gary Barbera. Tell him, Coach.
Boy, I guess.
You saw the DallasStillSucks.com bust and the bear that cares at the beating in the bayou.
Boy, I guess.
See, Brandon Graham knows that Barbera was right about Superbirds, Coach Nick. Hello.
I'm Gary Barbera.
So why does Super Coach Nick pick Barbera?
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni.
Come on, tell the truth.
It's a stud.
For real?
Boy, I guess.
Super nice. You gotta say it twice.
Boy, I guess.
Is Super Coach Nick the best? I know, yeah, DallasStillSucks.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today by calling 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
For live radio to have lyrics, that's amazing.
You guys outdid yourselves.
Join the millions already on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Can I give it 6 stars?
Find your new favorite feature on the iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of home ownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit rocket.com. That's rocket.com.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
And the Chiefs lose it 40-22. The Philadelphia Eagles getting their second Lombardi trophy in their long history that dates back to the 1930s. Final score, Eagles 40, Chiefs 22.
Oh, courtesy of our friends at the Kansas City Radio Network. Down go the Chiefs, and the Eagles are left standing at the top of the mountain. The best in the NFL, Super Bowl champions, 2024-25. We will celebrate tomorrow with the parade, and I just love all the people that are like, yeah, I'm driving in. Oh, I'm going to take Uber. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do, like, we just have people going, oh, well, I'll call in live. I'll stream in live. Like, as if anything is going to work tomorrow. That's number one.
You're outing me. That was my idea.
All right. And then number two, for the people that feel like they can just Uber in and drop in, like, no big deal. Yeah, just do some research of what took place back in 2017.
Last parade, I walked. You know where the Belmont Plateau is?
Oh, I know where
I walked. And the group I was with walked from the Belmont Plateau all the way in. And we got pretty close to the Art Museum steps.
Yeah.
All the way there. I don't even know how many miles it in. It probably took like an hour to walk. And it was like the coldest. I mean, it's going to be cold tomorrow, but nothing crazy. It was the coldest day of the year 7 years ago. So, yeah, you got no chance to Uber in.
All right. Let's go to a man who knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to celebratory parades. Of course, representing those sports fans up there in Boston. And does a great job with DraftKings Sportsbook and had the Birds winning the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Julian Edlow joining us right now. Julian, good afternoon. How we doing, man?
Look at you guys all swagged out, matching hats. That's cute.
Horrible.
You give me credit. I had the Eagles in the game. Now I had my Kansas City plus 550 ticket, so I got a little cute. Did the teaser that got there. Obviously, Philly plus 7.5 with the over 42.5. That was a almost a rocking chair Super Bowl same game teaser winner. You don't get many of those, but you're still allowed to bash me because I came on here until about Thanksgiving saying that the Eagles are not the real deal, and I had them under the win total this year.
Yeah.
And the two reasons why proved me completely wrong. If we remember, I said Saquon's a little dinged up. Can he stay healthy? Well, you got the biggest offensive line of all time and the best running back, one of the best running back seasons of all time. That worked out. I was dead wrong about that. And then you got all rookies in the secondary. How long is that going to take to come together? That could be an issue. Pro Football Focus, Cooper DeJean, number one rated corner in the NFL over Pat Surtain, who won Defensive Player of the Year. That is crazy. So my two concerns about the Eagles this year arguably proved to be their two strengths. And that is how you are dead wrong on something.
Yeah, look, and the Eagles didn't put Cooper DeJean in until week 5, I believe, after the Tampa Bay loss and after the bye. So I think it was week 6. So
I mean, is he the best corner in the NFL? Absolutely not. But did he well exceed expectations? Like,
correct. Yeah, he's a hell of a guy you want playing that nickel spot. That's for sure. He's got great hands and big body, big frame, and sky's the limit for that young man. Same thing with Quinyon. You're right. There were some question marks as far as in the Super Bowl. Like, hey, man, going up against that wide receiver core in this moment with rookies, how are they going to handle it? But those boys, they are they're battle tested.
It didn't matter how they handled it because the front seven had it taken care of. Yes, the secondary did step up, but like it almost didn't matter.
I was reading some of your plays as far as the top 10 props taken on DraftKings Sportsbook, and it's just wild to see how people view that game and from the wagering standpoint. I saw one of the top 10 plays as far as prop was concerned is Saquon Barkley on the no at plus 155 for touchdowns, which was shocking to me. I think that
was one of the sharper plays of the day, and obviously sportsbooks, DraftKings included, did very well with Barkley not getting in the end zone, because you think about it, everybody's making their same game parlay. It's one of the first things you're throwing in, the Saquon touchdown. But Saquon to score was one of the highest bet, but Saquon plus 155 not to score, I think, was the 10th most bet Super Bowl prop. Somebody had put 3,000 on that on DraftKings. I saw made a little over $4,500. There was some going through our bets, at least the ones I'm allowed to share. Was quite exciting on Monday. I spent the entire day doing it and reporting on those.
Do you have one or two that you can be like, hey, here's one that made my mouth drop, my jaw drop wide open?
Well, this is easy. This one went somewhat viral, picked up by a lot of outlets and shows. And I want you guys to be the judge here and help answer a question, because I'm getting a little bashed for it. I'll give you the question at the end. Here's the bet that I saw this scrolling through the sheet, and I was like, oh boy, people are going to like this. Harrison Butker to make at least one extra point. Minus 2,200. We had somebody bet $2,200 to try and scoop up a steak dinner. $100 would be the profit on that to happen. Wow. That lost. Now, I called it a bad beat in my tweet. I got a lot of pushback. People said that's not a bad beat. It's just a bad bet.
Can it be both?
Now, look, the Chiefs got slammed. Like, they maybe could have gotten shut out, and they had to be going for those 2-point conversions, so I get it.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs scored 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl and didn't attempt an extra point. I feel that's a bad beat. So when everybody started pushing back, I dug through some numbers. Butker has kicked now 142 games with Kansas City. There have been 6 games where the Chiefs have failed to score a touchdown. So obviously you can't get an extra point in those games. So that leaves 136 games left. So take out the Super Bowl. That's 135 games that Butker has been the kicker for the Chiefs, and they've scored a touchdown. He's attempted an extra point in all 135 of those games. Now, he went 0 for 1 in 2 of them. The other ones, he made at least 1. So in games the Chiefs have scored a touchdown, Butker has hit an extra point 133 out of 135 times. They didn't score once. They didn't score twice. They scored 3 touchdowns, and he didn't attempt one. I think I do not deserve to be ridiculed to call that a bad beat. What say you guys?
I would agree with your breakdown. Now, surface level, before you get to your breakdown, I do say it's a bad bet. I think that, like, when you
a bad bet and a bad beat, like, I'm not saying I would bet that. I'm not putting my stamp of approval on that.
Like the way you break down those numbers.
I'm sure this was somebody that's a somewhat sharp bettor that said this should be minus 3,500 or minus 4,000 or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So at the end, then, like I said, your breakdown changes it completely for me. Like, the more you explain it, and then, of course, if you got the money to put it on and make that sort of coin, a quick flip for whatever it was as far as the plus money is concerned, look, I can get there with you. But immediately surface level, I just say that, that's a bad bet.
Yeah,
each their own on that one.
I'm right there with you, where it's a bad bet. I wouldn't advise anyone taking that. But it's also a bad beat, because it's not like the Chiefs didn't score, which would have been a shocker if they didn't score at all. And people would have said, oh, that wouldn't be a bad beat. But people would obviously be like, oh, that's ridiculous. How'd they not score? They scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they didn't kick an extra point on any of them. So, that's no question a bad beat.
Yeah, that's a bad beat. You're right. All right, Julian Edlow. There you go. So we're in agreement on that one. Julian joining us. Give me 60 seconds on this one. Julian, what was your favorite parade out of the many championships that took place in Boston over that decade-long run? If
too many count.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Your favorite one, though?
Oh, well, I mean, mine's personal, I guess. It would be the 08 Celtics is the team that I had the greatest connection to as a fan, I guess. A lot of losing growing up. I'm, 20, 21 at the time in college.
Oh yeah, wheelhouse.
They make those trades for Garnett and Allen. It works immediately, and they win. And that was kind of the start of big threes and super teams and whatnot. Although nobody was taking their talents to South Beach, everything was acquired by trade, gentlemen. So yeah, that was, and it's summertime. You guys don't know about these summer parades for the Sixers. Philly.
And we never will. And we never will.
Yeah, you guys are used to the cold. The summertime ones are fun. I sat out the 24 Celtics. I was at all the playoff games. I was at the Game 5 clincher. I was like, I don't need to go in 90 degrees with all these.
Yeah, it was hot.
I'm gonna sit this one out. But the summertime ones, you get them on the right day. Those ones hit right. But
ouch,
they're all. I mean, also the 04 Red Sox. I went to the 04 Red Sox. Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
I was like 16 or 17 for that, so like a little bit different. But that was, a historic type of event. So again, I give those two. And that doesn't even get to the 6 Patriots ones. So, yeah, a lot of good parades up here.
I can only imagine. All right, Julian Edlow joining us. Let's get over to some hoops conversation. Speaking of hoops, though, tonight he'll be rocking out on the NBA Bet Stream presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Matt Moore, Joe Delera. Am I pronouncing it right, Julian?
Go follow Joe. Good NBA better. Great prop better.
All right, I will definitely. From the Action Network, correct. Yeah, yep. Sam was talking about how he knows him. So definitely check out the NBA Bet Stream. Now, let's talk some NBA hoops, Julian. Let's get in over on that side of things to start here. Today's a difficult day because it's the final day before the NBA All-Star Game. Is there any game that's speaking to you? Are you sniffing one way, sniffing something out? Because I'm seeing all these names pop up. But again, it's 3:46 right now on the East Coast. So we got some ways until people are officially ruled out. But is there a number? Is there a team that you think is completely checked out? And maybe this would be a good spot for us to fire. Is any one of these 5 games speaking to you?
Yeah, I would say tonight and that last Sunday of the regular season are the 2 most difficult, I don't know if that's the right word, days to bet in the NBA, or at least the 2 days you have to be the most cautious. At the same time, you can catch the news right and something great falls in your lap. You just got to be paying attention and not force anything. I don't love a side tonight. Like the game that we're calling on the NBA app is Warriors Rockets. That opened Rockets laying 1.5. It got all the way to 6.5. Everybody thinking Steph, Draymond, Butler just played in Dallas last night. Gonna take a day off, extend the All-Star break a little bit. But they lost that game, in tough fashion. They're all going to play. So that went from 1.5 to 6.5. Now it's back to 1.5. I don't know with these sides. I kind of like Miami. I know. Sorry, who are they playing? I'm getting all.
The Mavericks.
Yeah,
Miami Mavericks. Right. Sorry, the Mavericks from last night. The Mavericks got a big win over the Warriors. They can maybe now rest Kyrie and Clay, who are questionable. I kind of like Miami, but now Miami's throwing Bam and some other guys on the injury report. So
yeah,
if Bam
Miami
plays,
also had a back-to-back too. They had that brutal loss.
Everybody's on a back-to-back. However, they were up big on OKC going into the fourth quarter and got destroyed, like historically bad fourth quarter, and lost that game. So Miami, I think, should want to play guys and get this game. If Bam plays, I would say Miami for NBA, but it's a tough night. I bet Max Christie over 14.5 points. He's gotten 15 plus in every game as a Maverick. Now, Kyrie and Clay are questionable. I don't even know if that's up. If they don't play, it'll go to like 16, 17. If they do, it'll come back down. I would say either way, like, if those guys are out, then he's going to do even more. And I don't mind paying a couple extra points. I would say Max Christie again, you got to time it out, but his point prop is one that I like a lot tonight too.
Yeah, that Thunder game was wild last time. It was 27 straight for the Thunder to open that fourth quarter. It was unbelievable.
Jeez.
Julian, where I want to go here now that we're it's one of those nights in the NBA. It's like I'm not touching a side either. It's just a weird night. But where I want to go, the All-Star break is a great time to kind of just like look back at the futures market. And like whether it's teams to make playoffs, whether it's conference winners, whatever. Like let's eliminate the Thunder and the Celtics for a second. And you can say the Cavs if you want, because they're the next obvious choice in the East. But where would you go if you're eliminating the Celtics, who are minus 105 to win the East, eliminating the Thunder, who are plus 105 to win the West? Where are you going in each of those conferences if you had to choose a team other than those two to make it out?
Yeah, I don't think I'm being too biased when I say I think Boston has a better chance in the East than OKC has in the West. I just think I think the Celtics have a larger talent gap over the field, and they have experience over the field. So I think the Celtics have a better shot, which I guess means there's better value in the West if we have to stay away from those two teams. The question is finding it. So just looking at the Western Conference winner, like, I don't think Denver's next at plus 600 in terms of the odds. I don't think they quite have it this year. Like, I think they could have rebounded, and become that team in the West again. But with some of the guys they lost, I don't quite see it. I'm not taking the Lakers because I don't know how that's going to work long term. They're hot right now, but they came crashing back to reality last night. That could be the case for a little while. So now we're looking beyond that. The two teams that would jump out to me, I would say 11-1 on Memphis. Memphis, when they get it all together, can be a really good team. They've threatened in the West before. Maybe they can be a team that breaks through. And again, maybe they just get to the Western Conference Final against OKC and you've got 11-1 in pocket, and then you can figure it out. The other one, and they've been playing bad lately, and we'll see what they do tonight against the Warriors, but the Rockets at 20-1 to win the West. Like, Udoka took this Celtics team when they were not having a good year. That first year they went to the finals against Golden State. They were like 23-1 to win the East right around this time, or maybe a couple weeks ago, in terms of calendar-wise, if we go back 3 years. They were that long. They were not having a good first half of the season. They got red hot. I don't think they're going to get there, but again, 20-1, you get them into the West Final or something. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, and Jaron's checking in, and of course, the Knicks just continue to appeal to me as a basketball fan. I know as a 76er fan, as a Philadelphia fan, like, I hate them. I can't stand the Knicks, the fans, all of that. But, man, they're fun to watch. Last night was an incredible game. They have that guy that can create in Brunson. We know what Cat's able to do. Will Tibbs, the way he coaches, eventually catch up to him? Probably. And I'm going to take the Celtics. If you told me right now who picked one Celtic, of course I'm going to have the Celtics in the NBA Finals again. But man, the Knicks are a ton of fun to watch. You brought up the Nuggets. Shout out Jamal Murray because he put it together last night. 55. He's coming around a little bit. So now the Nuggets, obviously their record has been showing us what they're capable of. We know already. But they feel like they're a different style Nuggets team to a point than years past. But again, we'll see how that one plays out in the second half.
If you bet Jamal Murray to be the king of the court last night, which is a promo on DraftKings, get the most points, rebounds, assists of anybody on that slate, and it was a big slate last night, you woke up this morning with over $6,000 in bonus bets.
Come on.
I mean, 55 points is wild.
Woo! Do it.
Nice hit. Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook. That's right. It's every Wednesday, king of the court. Take advantage of it. Make sure you check the tab, and it's real easy to understand how it works. But it's every Wednesday throughout the course of the regular season. A great promotion, one of the best promotions that we've seen rolled out there by sportsbooks in general. King of the court every Wednesday. All right. Julian, from the NBA, because I just don't want to talk Sixers, Sam. I got nothing. I can't do it.
You want to talk about Paul George's 2 points last night?
Paul George, just like the king of excuses, recording podcasts. I can't do it. It's better for my health. These guys are checking out because of their health, the injuries. I'm checking out because it's better for my mental. So we're going to move off of the NBA. Let's get on over to college hoops. And, look, where we're at right now, it's a great spot for the people that are coming over slowly but surely. It's college hoop season, February 13th, Julian. And it's always a good little question to toss out there to get people going here. As we pull up DraftKings odds, I'm curious in your mind, because we went through this exercise last week, Sam. Julian, how many teams in your mind could you see cutting down the nets at the beginning of April? and going on that 6-game win streak, what it takes to win a national championship. Knowing what we know right now, February 13th, here we stand. A lot of good teams out there, but how many in Julian Edlow's mind do you think could actually win it all this year?
Oh, it's a great question. I just pulled up the board to kind of narrow it down. Duke, yes. Auburn, Bama, Houston, Florida, Iowa State. Those are the top 6 on the board. I agree. All 6 of those teams can do it.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the line where you start to get maybes after that line for me. Next is Tennessee at 17-1. I don't think they could ultimately get there. They're a very good team. St. John's is 30-1. I used some bonus bets the other day on St. John's 40-1, but I don't think they can actually win it. Like, this is something that I do every year. You know, you get some bonus bets on your account or an odds boost or whatever. I took some cracks on St. John's 40-1 and said, you know, that team's playing. And of course, they lost it at Nova last night. I think they can make like an Elite 8, maybe Final 4 if the bracket falls right type of run. And then you can start buying off of it in certain ways if you like it. Or maybe it's a year where they get to the Elite 8 and a team like FAU from the other years is sitting there and you're like, oh, wow, now I'm in a really good spot. Like, I think that these bets are much better when we see the bracket. But I think there's stuff to be done. So, like, there's 6 teams that I would say are capable right now. Obviously, that's a small list. I think it goes beyond that. But there are other teams, St. John's being an example, that I think are worth betting on.
Yeah, once you get the bracket and the path, then you could possibly start talking yourself into a Michigan State team, possibly UConn. Is UConn on your mind at all? No, done.
No. They got me good the other night in Creighton. I thought that was a good spot to live bet Creighton. I got them like plus 190 with 8 minutes left, down 5 at home. They were in the bonus, and they hadn't committed a foul yet. I thought that was a great spot. Didn't quite get there. UConn snuck it out, but I don't think this UConn team has it this year anywhere close to years past. I don't think this is going to be something where they turn it on in March. I am waiting for the right spot actually in March to go against UConn, I would say.
All right. Good stuff there. Let's talk about some action going on tonight. Sam Oshtry is a proud Terp. So this is going to hit home here, Julian. I believe Mr. Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook, Sam, is saying Cornhuskers money line. Am I putting words in your mouth tonight, Julian? Where do you stand on this one?
You're not putting words in my mouth. That is where I'm going. I'll preface this by saying I like this Maryland team. And they're another team. I'm trying to find their odds right now. 65-1. Like, that's one like St. John's. I don't mind that. I think this team is good. They can make a run. But again, I thought that about St. John's. College basketball is all about spots, and they go down to Nova last night. Who's the better team? St. John's. But it's hard to win these road games and keep these winning streaks going.
True.
Nebraska had lost like 6 or 7 in a row, but they have turned it around. They're playing much better basketball lately. One of those losses during that streak, they went to Maryland, lost by 3. I think Derek Queen had like 3 points. They did I'm not expecting that again, but they did a good job of taking away Maryland's size advantage in that game. So this is a team that, a little bit of revenge for that narrow loss at Maryland. They've been rolling at home lately. I will go Nebraska on the money line here, taking, the short home favorite that is not the more talented team, but probably in the better spot.
3 weeks ago, I probably would have been like hammer Nebraska. It's a great position to be in, but because at that point, Kevin Willard in Big Ten road games was 4-20, but then Maryland went on the road and dominated Illinois by 21, and they just escape Indiana on the road. So they've kind of figured out how to win on the road in the Big Ten, which is why I'm not always fade Maryland on the road anymore. I know the number says to take Nebraska, but I'm probably just not going to touch it because I'll be watching and have an emotional investment. But I can't blame anyone for taking Nebraska. But this isn't a Maryland team that's just automatic loss on the road anymore.
All right, Julian, last one. Let's go ahead and get on over to Saturday's card. We always know college hoops is front and center on a Saturday for us. Even more so this Saturday with the Iron Bowl going off. Did they call that in college hoops? I don't know. Anyways, Auburn and Alabama, 1.5. Bama dogs at home, 172.5. I'm having a hard time really figuring out the SEC. One day I pick one team, then they score 44 on the road against Tennessee. The next week they go off and they drop 96 and they beat Auburn in Auburn, right? Of course, I'm talking about Florida in that one. So,
well, here's a stat for you real quick. SEC.
Don't say 500.
82 and 82.
I'm going to tackle you. All right. Yes, exactly. And how about Carl Ravitch?
He tried to defend it.
Yeah, he did. He got caught. All right. So, Julian, here's the deal. With this one, Auburn, 1.5 favorite on the road. 172.5 is our total. 4:00 tip. All eyes will be on this one. DraftKings already with the early number here. Got to love that. Big game. Where you at in this one, sir?
Yeah, I think we are first to market on this one. Good timing. It just came up. I do not see it offered at any other sports book. So immediately I pulled up the splits, which are available on DraftKings Network. 44% of the bets for 54% of the money, Auburn on the spread, but money line, 60% of the bets, 88% of the money, Bama. You're paying some heavy juice on the 1.5. So I'm just going Bama minus 102 money line. One of my favorite plays so far this college basketball season. I like Alabama at home here. Alabama has been spot proof. Like we're talking about Maryland, Nebraska, like this spot, that spot, erase spots for Alabama. Like they've been money. Whereas these Auburn teams, like Auburn just got smoked by Florida. They struggled for a bit with Vandy before they pulled away. They're a very good team. I think they're overpriced in the market in terms of to win it all, to win the SEC, like just in general. They've had some slow finishes under Bruce Pearl, and I don't know what you want to qualify as a slow finish for Auburn, but I think they're going to be gettable this last month or so of the season. Number 1 at number 2 in Tuscaloosa, Saturday game. Like that's going to be a tough atmosphere. Alabama has 2 of everything. Like they got 2 bigs, 2 point guards, 2 wings at every position. Like they are deep and good and talented. A team I was really high on preseason and have a lot of futures on. Probably my most heavily invested, we'll say, futures squad. So Bama Saturday afternoon, that's going to be a big one for me. Roll Tide.
Love it. As always, back in Bama. No surprise there on that one, Julian Edlow.
That's kind of my brand.
That's it. Hey, 30 seconds on this on the way out. The All-Star Festivity Slam Dunk Competition, Darius Garland said today that if he was paid $250,000, he would take place in it tomorrow. Should we start paying these players more to participate in the Slam Dunk festivities, the Slam Dunk contest on Saturday night, All-Star Weekend?
Well, not Darius Garland in the dunk contest, but like with all due respect, he's in the 3-point shootout. Maybe he's a good bet there.
Zion.
I don't know if it's is money gonna do it? I don't know. I wish they would do something. Like I just saw it was the 25th anniversary of the Vince Carter one, which was unbelievable. You see it now though, and it's a little less like, in the moment it was unbelievable. Now it's like the peak was Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon in those back-to-back years. That was the peak of the dunk contest, and it's gone steadily downhill since. And you've stumped me on this one. I don't have an answer on how to fix it. There's no amount of money that's going to make like LeBron do it. Zion would do it and probably get hurt. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, look, they did say, they're floating that idea around. I don't know. I think sponsorships are through the roof these days. So if you can break them off a couple extra dollars, hey, that's only going to benefit the consumer, the person watching. So I don't give a damn. Pay them. Just get Zion out there.
Sure. Julian, my solution was let's bring street ballers in. Forget the NBA players. Let's bring the best dunkers in the world in.
But then make that separate. If you want to have a separate dunk contest, sure. But this is the NBA dunk contest. Like you want to see the stars, the best players.
It's already weird enough with Mac. Like Mac is,
well, he's
minus 230 again this year. Like, parlay him with something, I guess.
Is he wearing like a towing company shirt, right? Like a You know,
this is his time to shine. This is when Mac McClung comes back in the
he gets
picture.
all year to work on it. Like he's probably going to look again. He's been practicing for a year.
That's
He's
right.
a hooper
man.
in the G League.
That's it, man. Julian, great stuff. Your time to shine every Thursday with us, man. Can't thank you enough giving us 30 minutes going all across the board. You can follow Julian Edlow at all one word, Julian Edlow. Of course, catch his content. He represents DraftKings Sportsbook, but DKNetwork.com is a great place to go for everything fantasy, college hoops, NBA, NFL. You got podcasts. You got great personalities like Julian and Sean Bernard. So get on over to DKNetwork.com. Julian, good luck on those plays, sir. We'll catch up later and roll damn Tide.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Roll Tide.
There he is. Julian Edlow once again on the Gambler stream. All right, daily ticket rolling on. Sam Oshtry from The Score. We will talk about the damn 76ers for a minute on the other side because, like, where we're at right now, they should not get off without dealing with some sort of venom, some sort of backlash. It is a disaster with a capital D. It might be even worse than what's taking place in Dallas. It might be. It might be. Now, I won't say it is, but it's up there because Luka traded to the Lakers is by far in a different world. But what we have right now and what we have in the future and what Joel Embiid told Lisa Salters on Sunday and the way the Sixers continue to go about this, it's a disgrace. That with a capital D, damn it. Don't go anywhere. Daily ticket rolling on. Sam Oshtry, Sean Brace back after this.
When a scrub daddy meets a scrub mommy, any clean is possible. This Valentine's Day, bring a smile to your kitchen with Scrub Daddy, the sponge that smiles back. You'll love their high-performance, happy designs. Check out the full line of scrubbers and sponges, cleaners, erasers, and more at scrubdaddy.com. And bring home a colorful scrub mommy to introduce to Scrub Daddy. Now available at your local retailer and online at scrubdaddy.com. That's scrubdaddy.com. Scrub Daddy. Smile while you scrub.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse.
I know. Just got the notification.
Made it.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Stay in the know with USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosting the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Freshen up your morning with a Wendy's breakfast, like a breakfast Baconator, or a grilled sausage breakfast burrito, or even a honey buddy. Ready for a fresh wake-up call? Gotta be Wendy's. Available at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Pennsylvania sportsbooks are reporting a $6.5 million loss on the Super Bowl because of the huge volume of bets on the Eagles to win. Baseball's back, and Phillies pitchers and catchers got their first official work in today. The full squad will be back together next week. And former big league pitchers Patrick Mahomes Sr. and reliever John Rocker, they'll meet in the boxing ring after a Bourbon Street confrontation last week. I'm Scott Davidson.
Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Get ready for our 2025 iHeart Podcast Awards.
March 10th, we'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year and celebrate the most innovative talent and creators in the industry. And you'll help decide who wins Podcast of the Year. Vote now at iHeartPodcastAwards.com.
Lenovo is proud to be a part of the iHeart Podcast Awards at South by Southwest, where creativity and innovation collide. With the new Legion Go S, the first licensed handheld powered by SteamOS, your game goes anywhere. Visit Lenovo.com/Legion Go, empowering creators everywhere.
It's the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, 3 to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Strike up the band, boys and girls. The Philadelphia Eagles are coming home with the Lombardi. Birds on bourbon, and the party's just begun. Folks, what we witnessed last night in Super Bowl 59, there have been plenty of adjectives used at various outlets all across this great country of ours. But the one that I'm liking the most, and it's a saying that made our timelines event originally because of Pat Bev and Roan, and that is belt to ass. Credit where credit is due. The Philadelphia Eagles deserve all the damn credit for what we were able to watch last night. Are you kidding me? 40 spot, 40 piece, 40 burger in your eye, America.
If you can wager on it, we're talking about it right here on The Gambler.
My station, baby.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Thursday drive home, and we've got a problem in South Jersey. The White Horse Pike blocked both ways between Warwick Road and Gloucester Pike. That's due to a crash that took down a traffic signal. In Philadelphia, a lot of closures around the Art Museum area, including the inner drive of the Ben Franklin Parkway and a portion of Kelly Drive right by the Art Museum Circle, closed off in preparation for tomorrow's parade. Virginia on the Schuylkill westbound University to Vine and City to Belmont, eastbound Heavy Blue Route to Belmont and Boulevard to South are to tell a total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today by calling 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, when you shop local, you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference. Gerhardt's Appliances, they've been serving our community for over 80 years, supporting the neighborhoods we call home. Instead of sending your hard-earned money to a national chain, support the home team at Gerhardt's, proudly serving all of Philadelphia, Glenside, Doylestown, Malvern, Ardmore, and beyond with top-quality appliances and unbeatable local service. Shop smart, shop local, shop at Gerhardt's. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com or visit any of their 6 locations.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Arturo Castro, and I've been lucky enough to do stuff like Broad City, Narcos, Roadhouse, but now I'm coming out with my own podcast. Get ready for Greatest Escapes, a new comedy podcast about the wildest true escape stories in history. Each week, I'll be sitting down with some of the most hilarious actors and writers and comedians, people like Ed Helms, Diane Guerrero, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I love storytelling, and I love you.
Listen to Greatest Escapes on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Greatest Escapes to start listening.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia.
All right, we're back. Daily Ticket. Chambray, Sam Oshtry from The Score. What's the latest on The Score, Sam, from you? What's the latest post that you have gotten up now that the Eagles have won the Super Bowl and now we move off of the NFL for the time being?
Latest post was earlier today, a few hours ago, a little NBA playoff picture at the All-Star break as we sit. A little like who's in the playoff hunt on both the East and the West.
Will the NBA Finals feature the Boston Celtics versus the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yeah, right now I'd say so. I'm more confident about the Thunder. I know Julian disagreed there. I'm more confident about the Thunder making it because I don't see any threat in the West.
I'm right there with you as well.
And I'm not saying there's a threat in the East necessarily, but the Celtics, and they may be coasting a little bit, and they've been dealing with some injuries, but they haven't looked unbeatable this season like they did last year. And I don't think there's anybody in the West that can compete with the Thunder.
All right.
But I will say from that article,
go
one
ahead.
of the things was I said this last week too when I said Warriors plus 160 to make the playoffs. I was looking at the playoff picture.
Okay.
Warriors are now even money. I think this is the worst they're going to be if you're going to get this number because their odds are going to keep shortening. So I would take it now. This Warriors to make the playoffs. I really like how Jimmy Butler looks with this team.
Man, every time I watch them, I come away, less and less impressed.
Well, last night they lost.
Yes, and I get it. It's a new team now with Jimmy in there. It wouldn't surprise me. I'll put it to you this way: it would surprise me if this team does put it together.
Well, I think it's also just the playoff picture. Like, look at who's ahead of them. The Mavs.
It's fair.
Who I can see slipping in the standings a lot because Anthony Davis is out for at least a month. If Derek Lively is out, Daniel Gafford's out. They don't have a single center to play right now. And Kyrie was awesome last night. I don't think he can carry like that consistently.
No.
And then the Kings.
Isn't it funny that his shoulder, he's hurting, his shoulder's hurting, and that's why he's real question. It's like, man, he's carrying.
He did,
literally
though. Like, he was on fire. He had
Yeah.
a stretch of like 3 straight threes. It was incredible to watch, but I don't see that happening. And then the Kings are also a team that I think are going to slip in the standings, and they're right ahead of the Warriors at that 9 seed. So if the Warriors are in the play-ins at 7 or 8 seed, I think they'll get in.
All right. From the NBA, let's keep it moving here. And let's talk about the 76ers for just a second, if we could. Again, just the back-to-back games. Like, this season is completely cooked. It's over. It has been over, but there have been people out there that have been saying, they got nobody in front of them and healthy this. We're in a different, I've said this a few times already, all right? Like, Mahomes in a different stratosphere. The 76ers are in a different world right now. And what it is they need to focus, and tell me if I'm wrong, they need to focus anything and everything right here, right now, on 2 things. 1, getting Joel Embiid back for next year. And 2, having Tyrese Maxey being at the forefront of everything that they're discussing, how they can make him better this year, whether it is less of him out there on the floor, whatever it may be. Like, that's the 2 most important pieces right here, right now for this organization. And it pains me to say that about Joel Embiid as number 1, but he's not going anywhere. He just got this new deal. Joel Embiid has to be issue number one with this franchise. And when he steps out on the floor and he talks to Stacey Dales or Stacey Dales, who the hell did he talk to on Sunday?
I'm blanking right now.
Yeah, well,
Stacey.
It was in ABC, and it's not Stacey Dales.
She does Monday Night Football.
Lisa Salters. Stacey Dales is NFL. Stacey Dales NFL Network. I think that's the blondie.
Is that? I don't know who Stacey Dales is.
Yes, you do. Stacey Dales is NFL Network. I have no idea why I thought it's Stacey Dales instead of Lisa Salters.
Oh, I know Stacey Dales. Yeah.
Back to Joel Embiid. When he goes and gets comfortable and tells Lisa Salters that, and nobody from the organization is saying it, this is the first time we've heard about it. Of course, we've all thought like to ourselves that could be the possibility, possible. But if if Joel Embiid is saying that to the media, then it's going to happen. And therefore, he should have been shut down that day, Sunday versus the Bucks. I'm tired. Joel Embiid, if he's going to get the surgery, get the surgery. Get the surgery. What am I missing?
Yeah. Well, maybe the Sixers PR actually told him to drop that on a Sunday when the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. Probably the best time in the world to drop that news on the Sunday broadcast against the Bucks. Here's what I'll say. And I said this earlier on your show months ago when we were at the beginning of the season in October. It was so irresponsible for Joel Embiid to play in the Olympics and for the Sixers to not have a more serious conversation, because everything we know now, based on that report that Joel Embiid told Lisa Salters, based off Daryl Morey's comments at his press conference last week, is that his knee, Joel Embiid's knee, did not react well to that surgery that he had last season. And he came back and he played in the playoffs, and he didn't have that lift, especially defensively. The Knicks were attacking him at the rim. He looked like he was hurting, and he still had some phenomenal games and phenomenal moments because he's that talented, but he looked like he was hurting. But they knew at that point that his knee did not react well to the surgery. And then he goes and plays in the Olympics. That is so irresponsible. And it shows exactly where your priorities are, that you don't care about winning. You don't care about the city of Philadelphia. You don't care about the Philadelphia 76ers organization. And you can't tell someone not to go win a gold medal with Team USA because that's a special experience.
Correct.
But it obviously wasn't the smart move if his knee did not react well to the surgery. And now it's continued to not react well. And who knows, if he didn't play in those Olympics and just rested more, maybe this season would have gone differently. Maybe not, though.
Yeah.
But now he needs another surgery. And the only option, like literally the only option right now, based off where the Sixers stand, is to cut his season short and not necessarily go full-blown tank, because you don't want to waste Maxi's the rest of his season. But you got to cut Joel Embiid's surgery short for his future, because there's no value to trading Joel Embiid anymore. He has no value in the trade market.
You're not able to trade him.
Yeah, you're not going to get
that
anything.
contract. There's no value. Like, Joel Embiid is not going anywhere. They gave him that deal with the thought that he was going to forever be a Sixer. You give him the statute, you raise that number to the rafters. Like, that's went through their mind. He's 31 years old. I get why, like, we could scream and bang the table, but at the end of the day, he was getting that contract extension no matter what.
100%, unless you wanted to trade him like the Mavs did with Luka and trade him while his value was at the highest it possibly could have been after he won an MVP. Otherwise, and that would have been a really risky move, but otherwise, you can't trade him now and you give him that contract.
I would not have signed up for that either. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I mean, look, in hindsight, I would have. Like, if you told me how the next 2 years would have gone, I would have been like 100% trade the guy.
Easy.
But at the time, that would have been a very...
He was 29.
Yeah, and he just came off an MVP, too. So that would have been a very... That move would have been critical. I mean, it would have been criticized. Daryl Morey would have never made that move. But now we're at the point where the only option is shutting him down. And they're going to have extended conversations over this All-Star break.
Oh,
and
extended.
really, I mean, they will, because you have time out. Nick Nurse can take a breath.
He shouldn't have. Why is he playing now, though?
Because based on what Daryl Morey said at the press conference, is he still believes that this team can sneak in the play-in and they can get in the playoffs and they can beat a Cavs or a Knicks in the first round, which is, by the way, delusional because they have no chance. I mean, getting the play-in, the best they can do at this point, even if they go on a great tear to end the season, is the 10th seed. Then you have to win 2 straight games just to make the playoffs. And that'll make the playoffs as the 8th seed. And then you're going to play the Cavs or the Celtics. When the big three is together, like the big three was together this past week, and they lost to the Raptors, they lost to the Pistons without Cade Cunningham, and they lost to the Bucks without Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like this team, Big Three was together and they still couldn't produce. There's nothing to play for anymore. The season's over. Like why would you want that 10th seed and then potentially the 8th seed just to get swept in the first round and potentially do more damage to Joel Embiid's knee? Like, get him the surgery that he needs now, and then hopefully he'll be ready by next October, because that's your only hope. You can't just look at the present right now. You can't have a short vision in mind. You have to have a long-term vision. And right now, they're having a short-term vision when the long-term vision is, let's get Embiid healthy for next season, because this season's over.
Yeah, it is. Paul George, 2 points last night.
More podcast clips than points. You see that?
I don't even know what to say anymore about Paul George.
I was trying not to be critical of Paul George, but this is exactly what you were brought here to do. Is the games that Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey didn't play, you were going to be the 1A, and you were going to be the creator. And look, I do think there's something to his finger injury. Like, he said he can't really go left, and he's struggling to catch the ball. Like, that's partly an excuse. Paul George, most of his career, has been an excuse guy, so that's partly an excuse.
Wow, he's up there as far as kingmakers of excuses. Seriously. Last night, he had a ton. Today, I'm reading my guy KB is putting out there. Well, no, somebody else reported. He just retweeted. That's right. That he's dealing with all these ailments. Like, all right, Paul. All right.
But I do think there's something to the finger things. You see him. He wasn't just bad yesterday.
But how many guys are 100% healthy?
No, you're right. You're right. But like, if it's your finger, I'm just trying to comprehend why he wasn't just bad yesterday and he was disinterested. Like, he did not want to be on that basketball court.
Correct.
He had no interest in playing basketball last night. And if that's really the case, then just sit out. Like, don't play. It's fine if you're hurt, but then don't play. Like, just say I'm not healthy enough to go right now. But he was bad. And why I still am not completely giving up on him is because I want to see extended stretches of him healthy and alongside Maxey and Embiid. And I think that's where he can get more of a rhythm, get his footing going. But he looks old. Like, he looks old. Like, it's his worst field goal percentage since he was a Pacer. He's shooting 44% from the three, worse since he was a Pacer. He's shooting 42% from the field right now. He's shooting 36% from three. That's the worst of his career since he was a rookie in the league 14 years ago. And here's the most troubling part with Paul George. His free throws are way down. He's shooting 2.4 free throws a game. He hasn't shot that few free throws since, again, his rookie season. And that's kind of the telltale sign when I can sense a player getting older, is when they're struggling to get to the line, and that means they're struggling to get downhill, draw contact, and create easy points for yourself at the free throw line. That's when you kind of know a player's lost a step. And that's what the biggest worrisome for me is, that Paul George, he doesn't just look bad. He looks old and tired.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's so disappointing to where we're at right now. And I never bought the hype. I never thought that this team would be competing for a championship, but I thought
even
it would
preseason?
No. Yeah, never was buying anything that people were selling. I just thought it would be a little bit more entertaining. And I know that the injuries, like, that's really frustrating, because last night you see Maxey, who was hurt last night, or had the game off. You see the as far as the rookie, as far as McCain on the bench, and it's like, damn, if he was out there, like, I could see some positives for the future. Like, I'm not saying that this is completely over, like we are cooked, but they are in a tough spot, and they've made their own bed by giving these contracts out. And I just don't know what will change if you're able to get out of a Paul George. Like, yeah, we're not the only ones that are watching Paul George play basketball. Yeah. Like, everybody's tuning in. So if you're a general manager, why would you take on that contract now? Joel Embiid's not going anywhere. Not necessarily do I think that if Joel Embiid can't play, then this team can't win. It's going to be tougher, but like, this year, it's over. So I'm just done with this year. Yeah. It's just better to say Joel Embiid's getting shut down. Paul George, shut him down too.
I agree. I don't get why they're so reluctant to shut down Joel Embiid. Like, what are you still holding out hope for? To get that 10th seed and to potentially get swept in the first round?
It's got to be to put butts and seats down at the Wells Fargo
Butts and seats. You don't know if Joel Embiid's ever playing until 30 minutes before the game. Like, nobody's going to the Wells Fargo Center to watch, especially as the Eagles are on this run. Nobody's watching Sixers basketball.
How many people were at that Toronto game?
It looked like nobody. Like who was going to watch the Raptors and the Sixers?
And it was snowing. I walked outside. I go, yeah, no. No, there's no way I would.
Was this Tuesday night?
Tuesday night.
Yeah, I got offered tickets to that game. I forgot. I got offered tickets to that game, and I turned them down. Part of it was the snowstorm, and part of it was an awesome college hoop slate that I wasn't missing. But I said no. I'm not going to that game. It's like, who's going to watch the Raptors and the Sixers play? So there's no like putting butts in seats. Like we're so past that. Like there's nothing to play for anymore. If you're Joel Embiid, like shut him down.
How doesn't he say that?
I don't know. He's always weird about his health, where it's like he always makes, and this is why the Sixers' communication regarding his health has been weird throughout his career and definitely this season. And they've really been dishonest.
They said 19,000 were there.
Yeah, right.
According to ESPN here, attendance 19,767. Yeah, I'll take the under on that.
Yeah, right. But they've been dishonest about his health because I think that's a directive of Embiid and his team, where it's like he doesn't really want people to ever know what's actually going on with his health, and it's so that always makes it seem like it's worse than it actually is. And in this situation, from preseason, what we know now all the way to February is that it was way worse than it actually seemed.
All right,
just shut him down.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
It's an easy one for that. All right, it is that time of year where we start to mix it all in. And just to let you know that there are some other things taking place in the world of sports, Sam Oshtry, especially on the ice.
Wow.
Are you up on the Four Nations face-off taking place in Montreal?
I saw what was going on. I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, me neither. But our good friend Larry Henry Jr. does. He writes for The Athletic, does a great job covering all the sports. You name it, football, NFL, basketball, soccer, NHL, he does it all. He's going to give us a little refresher here for Team USA. I saw our head coach over there coaching, I believe, Canada, if I'm not mistaken. We'll find out a little bit more about that. But you got United States and Finland tonight. That's going off at 8 p.m. It is the Four Nations face-off, and the tournament began yesterday where Canada won 4-3 over Sweden. So we got ourselves a pretty cool thing going on in the world of hockey. Let's talk a little bit more about that with Larry Henry Jr. He's going to join us on the other side for a couple minutes. We'll jab him with some odds and ends, get his thoughts on what took place with the Eagles Super Bowl, what his plans are for tomorrow. Sam, do you have a significant other, a partner in your life, a lovely lady?
No one special.
Okay.
No one
so
special.
you don't have any issues with the fact that this got bumped to Valentine's.
If anything, it's great because now all my boys who do have a special someone in their life, they have the best excuse to not do something for Valentine's Day and spend their Valentine's Day with me.
So they're so you do have friends that are getting off.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, interesting.
Oh my God. I think they'd break up with their girlfriends if they told them, no, you have to spend the night with me instead of going to the Eagles parade. That's an auto cutoff.
I love it. All right, we're going to have some fun with Larry on the other side. It's the Daily Ticket. Sam Oshtry hanging with us as always on a Thursday. More after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Whole lot of parade prep underway in the Art Museum area. The Ben Franklin Parkway inner drive blocked both ways between the Art Museum Circle and 20th Street. Outbound, the outer lanes are open, but it's crawling. Also, Kelly Drive inbound blocked between Fairmont and the Art Museum Circle. The Vine Expressway westbound crawling 95 out to the Schuylkill merge. Schuylkill westbound jam, Verda Girard eastbound, stopping at Boulevard to south. 95 northbound heavy Girard up the bridge and southbound, so Copman to bridge. Larry Tutela, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Tap into your well-being with Audible audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Expand your life with expert insight and motivation for better health, habits, relationships, finance, and more. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation. Our mission is to be the global value-added distributor of products and solutions to our customers. We were founded as a automotive recycler. So think of a junkyard, but we professionalized the business. We processed over 800,000 vehicles. And so we like to make sure that those vehicles do not end up in a landfill. Chemicals don't end up in the soil. And so we recycle, detoxify those vehicles, and then sell those products. We make money at it, but we're doing it from a sustainable standpoint. We created a foundation in 2020. We donate over $4 million. $1 million of that typically goes to employees or employee families, children for scholarships. We also have an employee relief fund. Think of some of the hurricanes that have occurred in Florida and some of the other markets where we will help not just our employees, but also help the communities for which we operate. It's critical for us to be known as a good corporate citizen and a good community supporter. We created this foundation to make sure we have a good opportunity to allocate that money out. We operate in Ukraine. We have 50 locations in Ukraine, so we not just help our employees in Ukraine, but also help some of the communities in those areas that are suffering just from the Russian invasion. LKQ being over 1,600 locations across the globe, 48,000 employees. If you really want to work for a company or support a company, buy from a company that is all about sustainability, that's how we were founded.
To know more, go to lkqcorp.com. Comcast Business, the complete connectivity solution, cybersecurity, internet, and mobile, all from one provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
My name is Kyle Tequila, host of the shocking new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Kenny was a Chicago firefighter who lived a secret double life as a mafia hitman.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything. He was a crazy man.
He was my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Listen to Crook County on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Crook County to start listening.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No. Call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Hey now, Daily Ticket, Sam Oshtry from The Score, hanging with us on a Thursday. Parade Eve, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Are you going down? What are you doing? What's the plan? We will be hanging out at City Tap House at Logan Square all morning long. Doors are opening at 8 a.m. All right? That's pre-parade. Post-parade, your boy rolling over to PJ Willihan's in Woodenwood, only about 2 or 3 miles away from here on the City Avenue side of things. We'll be going live 4 to 7 p.m. A great post-parade stop. So come and recap, stuff your face with some wings, If you're thirsty, get yourself a beverage or two. The celebration rolls on. The Gambler Gang will be at PJ's and, some other people from iHeartRadio as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Four Nations face-off is off and running. Yesterday, we had a thriller last night. Canada took down Sweden 4-3, I believe, in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. How about that? Tonight, USA, the red, white, and blue are favored against Finland. This game is going off at 8 p.m. To talk a little bit more about what the hell is the Four Nations face-off, let's just start there. Our good friend Larry Henry Jr., nobody covers the ice like L. Henry 019 on socials. Larry Henry Jr., how we doing today, sir? You're on with Sam and Sean. What's going on, Larry?
Yo, guys, what's going on? Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back with you guys. Go Birds. First off, got to say go Birds. Big win. Obviously so proud of the team, right? Came out, dominated, smacked Patrick Mahomes literally in the face. Yeah, man, it was awesome. Still on that high, right, of Super Bowl, big parade tomorrow. Looking forward to it. But Sean, like you said, Four Nations face off. Something new this year. No NHL All-Star game. The NHL decided to do this, bring back a little international competition. I'm a big fan of it. I always love international tournaments, especially because, the All-Star game, right? Trying to keep people interested, trying to keep people watching. I think this definitely spices it up, puts a lot of rivalries together on the ice. Canada, USA, Sweden, Finland. It's a really cool opportunity. And like you said, last night, Canada getting the big win to open the competition in Montreal. Needed to go to overtime, but Sidney Crosby winding back the years, 3 assists in a big-time win. And like you said, USA at it tonight in Montreal against Finland. It won't be an easy test for the USA. I think Finland, I know they have the lowest odds to win the competition, but definitely a lot of high-scoring firepower for Team Finland. So excited to watch it, excited to break it down, and we got a whole week of this thing to.
Are the players taking this serious? Like, is this like a real deal? Like, hey, man, of course we're playing for the team on our chest, all that, but it is in season and it's new, right? Everybody from the NBA side of things was throwing it. You kidding me? This in-season tournament, blah blah blah. How are the hockey players taking it? What are the hockey fans saying about this?
No, I think the guys are definitely up for it. Watching it last night, right? Canada started off strong. Sweden got back into the game and really kind of pulled a shock in the second and third period. Had to go to overtime, which 10-minute 3-on-3 overtime before you go to a shootout. And both these teams obviously had ample chances to win. You definitely see the energy. You see the emotion in the players. I think too, Canada playing a couple games at home, definitely going to bring out the emotions for the players. Seeing a lot of old time legends on the ice before the game: Mario Lemieux, Teemu Selanne, Daniel Alfredson. So Mike Richter. Seeing all these old legends back on the ice is pretty cool. I think Saturday is going to be the big one between Canada and Team USA. Those two always, put together a really good game when they face off. And this, I think, is just the start of it, right? Because it's something new the NHL is doing. I'm not sure if they're going to continue this in 2026. But I, did hear that the NHL did announce the World Cup of Hockey is coming back in 2028, which is awesome to see. Obviously, the last Olympic game, I believe it was in 2021 when the NHL players were supposed to take part in that, and the pandemic, the NHL pulled their players back due to the pandemic. So it's really cool to see. I think it was over 20,000 people were at the game last night in Montreal. I expect definitely a large attendance again tonight, but it's been pretty cool to see. And I know the players are definitely amped up for it to represent their countries.
Are we going to get booed?
Team USA?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I fully believe that. But half this competition, right, is in Montreal, and then it switches to Boston for the other half. So Team USA, it will have a couple home games. Every team will get 3 games, and then the top 2 finishers will face off in the final a week from today. So it's definitely no rest for the weary, right? These guys jump right into the season and keep it going. But it was really cool last night to see the game. Canada, definitely a lot of firepower there with, Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner scored the winner. Crosby had 3 assists. It was pretty cool to see. And I think Team USA definitely a force to be reckoned with as well, right? Austin Matthews, so many guys that they have as well.
See, Sam, it's hitting me like the in-season tournament I'm a fan of, and everyone poo-pooing it, but the hockey rolls this out. Everybody's invested, everybody's fired up. The 4 nations face off.
Well, I think a lot of it is international too. I think that's cool is when you can take pride in your country.
Do you think NBA could even have a chance of doing something like that?
Well, they've talked about that for the All-Star game of making it Team World versus Team US, which I think would be really cool. For an All-Star game, I think that would be really cool because I think this place with hockey, a lot of people in the hockey world, like we're hearing right now, have said this is an awesome event.
All right. Well, I think it's something that we could all take inventory on. Just one man's humble opinion over here. That's all I'm saying.
I have a question. Has the U.S. caught up in a way to, as a guy who doesn't know a lot about hockey, has the U.S. caught up in a way to Canada and some of these other dominant hockey countries? Because it's always all right, Canada is the best when it comes to hockey. Is the U.S. catching up?
I think they are. It's definitely hard to judge, right? Because the only international competition we really get is the IIHF World Championship, which always seems to fall around May when the NHL playoffs are going on. So you don't really get that. You don't get all the stars, right? You're really just kind of picking up guys on the fly, guys whose NHL teams don't make the playoffs, some guys who play in the KHL or abroad. So I think Team USA has definitely done a good job of being competitive again. Matthews is the number 1 star, right? Kind of like McDavid is for Team Canada. But I think they play a really well-rounded team game, unlike Canada, who has those star guys like McKinnon and McDavid and Marner and so many guys that can just kind of beat you like just on their own or steal a game. But I think, it's definitely a good time for the U.S. Like I said, really good team game. Sweden is really good as well. Finland, Russia, who, obviously I think can't really participate in many competitions right now. But they obviously have a great team as well with so many guys. So, yeah, I think it's going to be cool to see, man. I know 2028 is a couple years away, but the World Cup of Hockey is definitely a big competition, and I think it'll be cool to see that back on the ice as well.
All right, Larry, give us 1 goal scorer, not name Austin Matthews for tonight.
1 goal scorer, not name Austin Matthews. Oh, that's tough. It's a good team, man. You got Jack Hughes, you got the Tkachuk brothers, JT Miller, Chris Kreider. I'm gonna go with a one out of left field here. I'm gonna go with Dylan Larkin, Detroit Red Wings. He's continued to pile on points for the Red Wings at a rapid rate. I think a lot of Finland's tactics tonight are going to be trying to stop Matthews and forcing the other guys to beat them. And I think these types of tournaments, right, the amount of depth these teams have is just insane. I mean, even last night watching Canada, Travis Konechny's playing the 4th line for Team Canada. It just shows
he's a Flyer.
Yeah,
Sam, he plays for the Flyers.
Yeah, I had to look him up real quick. I thought I heard the name.
But it just shows you, right? Like, I mean, like Travis Konechny, if not maybe the best on the Flyers right now in terms of points. And he's 4th line for Team Canada. So it just shows you the depth in this competition. Finland's no joke, though. I mean, Sebastian Aho, Patrick Laine, Teravainen, Mikko Rantanen, who just got traded a couple weeks ago to Carolina. They got a lot of firepower as well.
He's spinning right now. He's in his wheelhouse. He's in his bag. He's in the NHL bag. You can't get anything past him. That's for sure. 5-hole or not. All right, Larry, let's keep it moving. Let's end on this, if you wouldn't mind. You did bring up the Flyers, and it's not the best season. They are on the bottom right now of the Metro, currently 24-26 in the win-loss. Also, 7 in there, and 55 points to the Caps 80, who's at the top of the list there. The Panthers are 71 points top of the Atlantic. Winnipeg currently 81 on top of the Central, and Edmonton and Vegas, no surprises. Those two teams have been great over the past few seasons. They are currently tied at 72 in the Pacific. Over to DraftKings Sportsbook, taking a peek at some of the future odds here for the second half of the season, and whether or not we could pinpoint a team that will have success and ultimately win it all or represent their conference in the Stanley Cup Finals. Carolina plus 320, Florida Panthers 4-1, Toronto plus 550, Devils plus 550. That's on the east side of things. West side, Edmonton, Dallas, Vegas, Colorado, all at the top 4. Right here, right now, predict who will be playing in the Stanley Cup Finals in a few months, Larry, on February 13th.
Oh, it's a tough one. There's so many good teams right now, man. I mean, it's so much has changed from November when we first started talking about this NHL season. So many teams have gotten better. A couple teams have kind of fallen a little bit. I'm going to go with in the West. I like the Vegas Golden Knights. I think they continue to just bring a really good team effort around them. Good goaltending. They know how to win. They've been consistent for the last 4 or 5 years. I like Vegas. I like what they do offensively. In the East, I'm gonna go with I like the Hurricanes, man. I think the Hurricane. I've said this in the past, and they've kind of let me down. But again, another team that can score at will. Aho's awesome for them. Getting Ratinen from Colorado in the trade was huge. Goaltending's been really important for them again this season. And I think, again, depth-wise, when you come to playoff time, obviously everyone's got to stay healthy, but, that depth that they have, I think being able to score at will and get those third, fourth lines in the mix, I think that just helps you along a lot more. So I like Carolina and Vegas in the Stanley Cup this coming spring.
I'd sign up for that right here, right now. I would. It'd be a great Stanley Cup final. Larry, we're up against it. Got to run. Great insight. We'll be keeping our eyes on. And once again, the goal scorer, Dylan what?
Dylan Larkin.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Plus 475 on DraftKings Sportsbook. If Larry says it, don't second guess it. Fire away. Let's go USA. We'll catch up next week, sir. As now, we all have to be paying attention a little bit more to what's taking place on the ice as far as nationally is concerned. Larry, you're the best. We'll continue to follow you at LHenry019.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Go Birds.
Go Birds. There he is, the great Larry Henry Jr. joining us on the Gambler stream. When's the last hockey game you made, Sam?
I've never been to a hockey game my entire life. Isn't that crazy? Flyers game I've never been to. Blow the whistle.
Come on, dude.
And actually, so a couple of my boys went.
We got to go. We got tickets here.
All right, let's go then. I'd love to go. But so a couple of my boys went earlier this year. I was like, I've never been to a game. Yeah, of course, I'm down. Let's go. And it was a Saturday. I was doing something. I was busy. I forget exactly what. It was a few months ago. And I didn't make it. But I was like, I got to go to a game. I'd love to. I'm literally not a hockey guy at all. Never in my life I've been to a hockey game. It's crazy.
All right. Well, yeah, we definitely got to do that. Great. I love hockey in person. It's great.
Yeah, I've heard it's awesome, especially playoff hockey. I've heard it's good atmosphere.
Yeah, it's been forever. I haven't seen a playoff hockey game in forever, but in person.
I'll sign me up. I'll be there if someone can get me tickets.
All right, let's end on this quickly. Aaron Rodgers, what do you do with them?
Can he retire? Just walk away from the NFL. Like,
why should he retire?
I feel like he's been through a lot with his body. Like he's not.
How many teams are calling him?
Well, all right, let's go through it. The Steelers.
And specifically, are they saying, is there a team out there that says you are our starting quarterback?
He's not signing up for any team unless he knows he's starting. He's not going to a battle. He'd rather retire. He's contemplated retiring the last couple of years. He'd rather retire than go into a battle for a starting position. Okay. That's not happening. So it's the Steelers. It'll be him, and then they'll bring Justin Fields back as the backup. I would say the Raiders are an option.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is a down quarterback class. So a lot of those teams at the top may just take a 1-year rental on Rodgers. If it doesn't work out, then you're back in the draft next year. And if it does, then you have a fun season. But Rodgers should go to a place where, number one, they have a good offensive line, so he's going to be protected, and enough offensive weapons where And a good culture. Like, he needs a good culture. He's not a guy who's going to come in and set the tone of an organization and build a culture. We saw that with the Jets. He tried. He said all the right things in the beginning. It didn't work out. He needs to go to a good culture, good organizations. I could see the Raiders or the Steelers.
Yeah, Raiders I could definitely see with Pete Carroll. I just make the comment that if you are getting phone calls and say 4 or 5 teams are interested in your services, I just don't see retirement.
But like, his body has just been through so much. Like the Achilles injury, of course, and then this last season, a bunch of nagging injuries. No way it felt good. It's like, are you really going to put yourself through this to go to a team that's not going to contend for another Super Bowl championship? Like, I know he loves the game, obviously. He's been around forever, but what are you really doing at some point?
He loves the attention more.
I was going to say, he needs the relevance.
He loves the
How
attention.
about the Jets saying that you can't go back on Pat McAfee?
Respect Aaron Glenn. He had to say that because you'd just be dealing with the same nonsense, doing it all over again, and you can't have that. So I do give him respect on it. I do think that he might have been their best option, though, to bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, because they don't have a good enough pick.
They don't have anything. Yeah. And then I heard the guys before us, Cowherd and McIntyre, going, "Oh, LA, you get him weapons." Dude, he had weapons with the Jets. They went out and got Devontae Adams at the end of the damn season.
Do you think he's better than Matt Stafford?
No.
Yeah. Well, why would you think he's better than Stafford?
That whole LA Rams deal is crazy. Like, I just sign Stafford, have him retire a Ram. Like, it's not that difficult.
Yeah, and do it this year, and then maybe you trade some assets for a quarterback in the draft next year, where it's like that's a deep quarterback class.
Yeah,
but I don't get why they would get rid of Stafford right now.
I think the Vegas Raiders would be funny, and I don't know Devontae Adams' contract situation, but I would assume that
he went back.
You follow him back to Raiders.
That'd be funny.
And Devontae Adams, you want to talk about stock and misplaying your hand.
Yeah, like, why are you following Rodgers around? Yeah, why don't you go to a team that can contend? Chiefs could use him.
You would make the case that he could be potentially a number 1 overall wide receiver in the game. I wouldn't say he was, but he was in the conversation with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Like, he was in that conversation now.
Well, some of that was probably Aaron Rodgers deserves more credit. Made him better than he was when he was on the Packers.
Fair to say. All right. Great stuff today, Sam. Nice work, sir, across the board.
Yes, sir. It's always a pleasure. Big day tomorrow. Blow the whistle.
Yeah, we got these branded whistles that also double as, when you get to your house and you got to see like
tiny flashlights.
Yeah, the flashlights. The keyhole, you can't find the keyhole. I used to have my house. I used to have the code lock.
Yeah.
And then my wife got rid of it because it sometimes didn't work, which was always a bad thing. And now we got the old fashioned, I hate the key lock. I hate it at the front door.
We have to press in a code?
No, I prefer the code.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a code guy.
Yeah, I've always had a key. Everywhere I live.
All right, so everywhere, we will be everywhere tomorrow, starting bright and early in the morning. Kegs and eggs at City Tap House in Logan Square. There you go, yes. So
it's
come
that
on
type
by.
of day, though. It feels like a college day tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
long day.
Beef was saying he's going to pop his first beverage at 7 a.m.
Jeez, I got to do some work in the morning, and then I'm going right to City Tap, and then we're having a day from there.
What time are you going to get City Tap at?
Whenever you want me there, 9 a.m. I'm waking up early tomorrow. I'm waking up like 6. I'll be there at 9 a.m. if you want me. 9:15, 9:30.
Yeah, we'll be there. And then PJ Willihan's in Wynwood at 4 o'clock for a post-parade party. Myself, Powers, Jansen, all that more. Hey, by the way, Green Legion Radio will be live from 8:30 to 9:30. That's what they tell me. Tomorrow morning, 8:30 to 9:30, live from Xfinity Live. That's sold out fast, but they'll be on The Gambler tomorrow, so make sure you check that out at 8:30 to 9:30. We will be posting on all things socials at Fox PHO Gambler on our YouTube channel, all that and more. But then you won't hear any local programming on The Gambler until 4 p.m. tomorrow. Actually, 3 p.m. Sorry, 3 p.m. You'll hear more local programming as we're recording down at City Tap House. Not the smoothest operation, but I promise you we're going to get through it because it is anarchy at the end of the day for the parade. Super Bowl champions, ladies and gentlemen. For Sam Oshtry, I'm Sean Brace. Everybody have a great night. What was the guy's name again? Dylan what?
I don't
Go Dylan, plus 475.
Asking the wrong guy.
Nebraska on the money line?
No, go Terps, baby. Go Terps.
And then the NBA, anything for you on the NBA?
No, I'm not playing anything, but like maybe the Rockets off the Warriors traveling back to back.
Stay away.
Stay away.
Yeah.
Just focus on the Birds.
That's it. Focus on the Birds. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. Blow the whistle.
Looking to elevate your golf game? Welcome to Penn Club on 2nd in the heart of Conshohocken. With over 350 courses to choose from, 3 state-of-the-art simulator bays powered by TrackMan technology, and a members-only clubhouse open